So there I am, in bed at 8 p.m., drinking imported hibiscus ginseng tea and reading the latest Kazuo Ishiguro. Okay, fine. I was watching YouTube clips of Say Yes to the Dress on my phone. Shout out to the Lancashire version. And suddenly, what is recommended by the algorithm to me but me? And when I first saw Ask a Mortician parody, my heart kind of sank a little bit, because I'm thinking, is this gonna be mean-spirited? We're over a year into this pando, and not everyone has exactly been showing loving grace and kindness online recently. But my second thought was, why is this thumbnail so good? Why does this thumbnail look more like a thumbnail from my channel than a thumbnail from my channel? I've only watched this like 1.5 times because I knew I wanted to react to it and I wanted to keep my reaction as pure as possible. But spoiler, I got good. I got good. Okay, Olympia, let's see what you've got.
You may know me as YouTube's premier peddler of death information, but I'm also a British train conductor in 1932.
Okay, you don't know me. You may look like me, you may be wearing the same dress as me, but you don't know my channel. You don't know my humor. You don't know how this all goes, so good luck.
Let's exhume Grandma. Today's video is sponsored by the Gravy Yard. Turn your dead uncle's hip replacement into a functional, stylish gravy boat.
Okay, so you do know the channel, it appears. The research you would have to do into the archive to know the very specific one-off body disposition joke that I would make and then make a better joke. Dang it.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming today to
There
celebrate
she
the
is,
life of my
sliding in.
dear Aunt Bernice,
This is not my
a
funeral home.
devoted wife
I
and
just
mother.
show up at random funerals and
Bernice was
poke
a
at
pillar
the
of this
corpses.
community, and she devoted so much of her time to this church.
I can't help myself. This is
It's
just me on
wonderful
my
to see
day
so
off.
many of you here today.
The smacking brings the life back into them. Ask a Mortician, that is incredibly incisive commentary on sexism in the funeral industry, including what I have had to face as, oh, it's because Olympia is a drag queen. That makes more sense.
Welcome to the third and final installment in our Cannibalism of Victorian Hookers trilogy.
Would we use the term sex worker? Yes. Would we also make a 3-part series about cannibalism among Victorian sex workers? Also yes. Sign us up. My kind of story.
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside and I can't break through.
Do I sound like Cher? Maybe I do sound like Cher. Someone in the comments said my voice always sounds like I'm about to yawn. But if my legacy is about to yawn Cher, like, all right. Is that a compliment? As far as I'm concerned, it is.
New Orleans has a bunch of these above-ground mausoleums, not just because of the flooding, but because I've stolen all their shovels.
That's a perfect joke, and I have no notes.
Trivia time, deathlings. I forgot where I buried Grandma.
That's why I need the shovels. Grandma's not going to exhume herself. Trivia time, deathlings. I stole all the shovels from New Orleans so I could find my missing grandmother.
This is but one of my visceral, macabre details.
In this presentation, my bangs and I are talking about how death at its most extreme is as thrilling and quivering as finding an online discount code for acrylic hoop earrings.
I'm just being ripped to shreds here, and I have to say it's an honor. It's an honor. My bangs and I, they're their own character.
There are underwater corpses in dark, claustrophobic environments, an idea which informs most of my nightmares. That and being crushed by a giant pendant.
Okay, this was the moment. Having never had this experience before, I wasn't sure, is it gonna be mean? Am I gonna be made fun of? Take the piss, if you will? And this was the moment that I just cackled and gave it up to God. Said, let me be read, Jesus.
You can't see today's pendant because it slipped beneath the murky waters, where I too would meet my end if it weren't for these life preservers on my earlobes.
I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you. I couldn't hear that one. They're beautiful.
Lake Superior is a lot like me on a first date. Once she gets you, she's not giving you back. She also never gives up her dead, which suits me just fine.
Her legend lives on from the Chippewa on down, as they say. My bangs and I.
Here's me in the tub, and I'm about to come at you with my brand new book, which took me 6 years to write, but is essentially 4 pages about how my dog will consider eating my corpse.
As someone who has spent the last 2 years, including all of quarantine, only managing to write about 20,000 words for my next book, the size of a decent pamphlet, this is the only part that is in fact a little cruel. Olympia, if that is your real name.
Bodies would lay in oven crypts for up to 1 year before they were asked for rent, and they would rarely ever reply, so it's kind of rude, but they would just get thrown out like shit on the side of the street.
Cancel rent. Cancel rent for the living and the dead. It's been a tough year.
Even though when people ask me how I close mouths, my answer first and foremost is, Caitlin, stop dropping jaws.
There's no word in the English language for what this feels like when this is you being parodied. Like, it's like a limerence. It's a word that doesn't have a solid meaning. It's a mix of embarrassment and love experienced at a bodily level, is the best way I can describe it. Well, Olympia, thank you for 2 things. First, for putting more work into this video than I have maybe ever put into a real video. I work hard, but apparently you work harder. And you've also been consistently putting out videos like this all year, which I cannot relate to, but blessings to you. On a second, more serious note, this has been a tough year, yada yada, etc. so forth. We all know. I miss my friends and family. I'm sure you do too. And I'm fortunate. My friends and family love me and they know everything about me, but they also won't let me get away with anything. They will read me for filth at the drop of a hat. And this feeling of being swaddled in love, but also roasted on the spit of true friendship is a feeling I haven't had in a while. And it made me excited to get back to it for the first time in a while. I allowed myself to want to get back to that. And it was just good vibes in a sea of negative vibes, and a sincere thank you. This video was made with generous donations from death enthusiasts just like you. TBH BBQ. I might as well ramble on. My funeral home employees are DMing me and I appear to be reading that. Focus! Looking at what to say next. In a relationship with my bangs. Bangs. My bangs and I. My bangs and I. Please stop banging. Please, it's not good for my nerves. Yes, you're a motorcycle. Congratulations. You have a massive penis. 5, 2, 3, 59. Stab, stab, stab. Just do something nice. Just raise the vibe. Do something cool. Be nice to yourself. We're almost there. We are almost there. All links are obviously below. There's a lot that I didn't react to, so more where that came from. Olympia, let's do coffee when you're in LA post-pando, okay?